Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
The Madness Comic Network and Comic-Related Madness proudly presents Comic-Related Unboxings from The Madness. Tune in to our content on Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube.
I'm gonna have to update that one too, man. All my videos got the wrong end card on them. Got the wrong email address, everything. But you guys know how to find me on all the socials, so just don't use that email address. Look, we got stuff. We got stuff, more stuff, and more stuff. Today, we have Kurtis Fujita's Shadow Ghost. Please say I got that right, or did I mix them up again?
You got everything right. You got everything right. Everything's good. Thanks, Pops.
You guys releasing books at the same time just makes it so confused. I'm always afraid I'm going to attach the wrong guide to the book.
Oh no, it's not.
You know what I mean? It's like, but they both have campaigns. Both Kurtis and Patrick Lugo. We got a Tiger's Tail and we got Shadow Ghost.
Yeah.
And this one is Shadow Ghost. Now, I want to go ahead and play that trailer. I don't know if it's in the studio, though. I might have to load it first. Yeah, I got to load it first. But I want to go ahead and play that trailer. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody what you're about, man.
Sure. So I'm Kurtis Fujita, comic book creator. I'm also a Kung Fu instructor. I teach martial arts. And I've been teaching martial arts for about 20 years. As far as my comic book pedigree, I used to work for Malibu Comics back in the 90s as an intern and colorist and editorial assistant. Recently, I was working for Silverline Comics with Roland Mann as the creative director. I'm kind of striking out on my own with this new book, Shadow Ghost. So I'm combining my passion for Kung Fu with comic books and putting the two together. And so, awesome. Tagline is Kung Fu comic by a Kung Fu master. So that's what Shadow Ghost is.
And I don't know if y'all noticed, but this morning we kicked the day off with a little comics foo. Okay, they're also bringing their show to the network, so you're gonna get to see a lot more of what they do, and you'll watch shows like right now. They're obviously promoting their campaigns. But it's like you watch their show and it's not like they're just like, hey, buy my book. It's like they're going through the art process, how the moves translate to the panels in the comic book. These guys really give you an in-depth idea of what they're doing. Okay. So you got to go watch the shows, guys. You got to. You know.
Definitely. I mean, Comics Fu is, Patrick Lugo, like Pops mentioned, myself. Patrick is the art director for Kung Fu Tai Chi magazine. So yeah, we're doing that, all about comic books, Kung Fu, all that stuff. And Pops has an advanced review copy, maybe about, I think, one of 15 that were ever printed, going out to our VIPs. So.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, it actually has a different cover. Has a different cover.
You didn't tell me the special.
Yeah, very special edition.
Pops loves special.
And this is proof that the book is finished because he's literally holding it in his hands. So.
And very nicely done. A little bit of that blue tape so you can secure it in the box so it doesn't bounce around. And look, the stuff just comes off. It doesn't ruin your bag. It just comes off. Yeah. Painter's tape, the proper way to seal a comic book. You should have put it here too, though.
Saying. I can in future editions. Definitely.
Scotch tape sometimes ruins the bag when you try to remove it.
It's true, huh?
I didn't
think of it that way.
We use the painter's tape for everything. This looks wonderful. Okay, what do we got back here? What's this?
Okay, so that's actually, I just thought I'd throw in my business card for you. So that's
that's cool. Let me get that. All right. Got all his stuff.
Yeah, all my information's there from my martial arts school, all that great stuff.
Tell them about your online, how you went from when things got shut down, how you started doing some online instructions.
Oh yeah, we switched. I had a physical school for about over a decade, and when COVID hit, we shut down and transitioned to online instruction. So now we teach via Zoom worldwide. And the cool thing is we take into effect different time zones. So we have different tiers of membership. You can come in and participate live with the class where I watch and give corrections on camera. But you can also just watch the recorded sessions at a different tier. So if you're in Europe or someplace where the time zone's a little too different to jump in at that exact same time, you can just select that tier. And if you want the big package, you do both. So
I'm pretty sure that's your partner right there.
Yeah, I think so. That's the only other two people that got sent out recently are Patrick and Laurie. Laurie, I was talking to Laurie, and Laurie got one, got sent out to Texas. One got sent up north to Alameda. Patrick is. So
there it is, yo. Let me make this big. Make this big. Hold on.
There you go. And there's a blue logo on the side that shows that it's the advanced review copy. There's only one of 15 of those.
Not for sale. Advanced review copy. There you go. Oh, and look. You got your barcode, yo. It's the newsstand edition.
Yep, exactly. Little details.
Oh, that's beautiful. I don't want to cheat and show off too much, but we give them a little bit of what it looks like, right? And then I have to take a look. Hey, the letters are big enough where I can read it without my glasses. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I like that. A lot of times, man, I can't actually read it. I have to wear the glasses because the print's just too small.
Yeah.
Your boys at Kablam.
Of course. Barry Gregory, Tommy Flormonte.
You guys see him on the Silverline shows. Yeah. I'm telling you, the network is getting big, man. It's almost to the point where you can pretty much find anything you need. Up in here with the people we have involved, Oops, definitely. I didn't mean to blast you like that. Shadow Ghost, yo. Look, I dropped this over here, but I want to bring it up too. I want to show the campaign here real quick. I didn't know how much time you had.
Yeah, that's some time. So yeah, thank you for dropping in and check it out. We reached the initial funding in the first 3 days, so there's a lot of demand, and we're pushing forward. I'm going to be shortly announcing what our first stretch goal is, and so that actually, I think I kind of mentioned it before, but I'll be announcing officially with some examples. But we're going to kind of take the backers page to the next level of evolution, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make a video, like the end credits of an animation or film, where you actually can see your name in the credits of the video if you're a backer for all tiers. So that'll be something that you'll be seeing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.
One thing you do is you ask your backers to send you a picture of them holding up your book.
Oh yeah.
after the fact, right? And then you use that video as a selling point for your next book. Say, look at all the people that got and enjoyed my first book.
Totally.
That's what I do. I come up with ways to try and help people sell books, because that's the whole purpose of me sitting in this chair.
Oh,
is to help people sell books.
Well, it's a big help. You got to get out to other people, and so it's great. You help us out, people like myself. Patrick and I really appreciate it.
Look, when I approach somebody and I say, hey, man, would you be interested in bringing your show to our network? And they are down with it.
Oh, yeah.
I get ecstatic. It's like, because every time it adds a new audience, the possibility of new people who've never seen you before, seeing you now, because somebody just brought in a different audience to the show, right? To the network. That's, to me, that's, the penultimate reason for doing this is to bring you guys to different audiences.
I appreciate it, and I know you're a true fan's fan. We were talking about doing this, and I said, "Oh, next week." You said, "Are you going to make me wait a month, a week to open this book?" I said, "Wow, Pops, this is the real deal," So.
Yeah, I was like, "Man, I want to do an unboxing. I like to open these with the creator." And he's like, "Oh, how about next week?" I'm like, "You don't make me wait a week."
That's a fan's fan right there. That's the most legit way to say
it. It's worse when I got nothing in my stack, dude. Then I'm like, oh no, we got to do it today.
Right now.
I actually got 3 books in the mail yesterday.
Oh,
so
great.
It was like, we did an unboxing yesterday, doing one today. I got to get with Brandon. I have Brandon's book back here as well.
Nice.
He's a friend of Laurie's, also does the zombie books.
Cool.
I got one as soon as I can coordinate with him, get him out here. We're going to open his too. I like to do it with the creators because I want people to see that you fulfill, okay, and how you package and whether or not you take care of the product you're sending us. Which blue tape, you get the madness seal of approval on shipping right there. That kind of stuff. That's we like to cover a book from the beginning, from the sign up page all the way through fulfillment, so people get to be part of the whole process. Definitely. When you're packaging stuff up, we've had people come out during the boxing stage, right? And just sit here and chat while they're boxing stuff up and just showing people how they package the product. So we try to cover it from beginning to end because we want everybody to be confident that the people that we're promoting are going to get you a book.
Definitely. Yeah, and it's all, that's the thing is there's nothing invisible here. I mean, this is 100% me, from cradle to the grave, the whole thing. And then, as far as fulfillment, it's going to be Kablam. Kablam's going to print and deliver it. So, them, they're reliable. So, yeah.
Now, some of this is amazing. Now, you see, little hint, everybody, list your team up near the top. That's all I'm going to say. Just tell people who's involved in your book up near the top of your page.
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm doing the whole thing. So it's written, pencils, inks, letters, colors, 100% me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, from top to bottom. And, so that's kind of the unique thing, right? There are books, where a lot of people love martial arts and comic books. There's books that maybe even consult with a Kung Fu instructor. But this is one that literally from the hand of the Kung Fu master himself, you get everything. So it's a direct translation from the way I've experienced Kung Fu for over 2 decades in the comic book format for you. And that's something that kind of unique to the experience of checking out this book. And so that's
dude. My co-host on Monday Madness, Rich, pretty much did his first 2 books completely by himself. And the third one, I think he's doing by himself too. He might have a colorist for the third one, but for the most part, he does the same thing. And it's like, man, I can totally appreciate the amount of work that takes. But this is like you're translating actual movement, actual, things that you've learned and then taught. And you're translating it to the panels. I love that, dude.
And even the culture, there's, martial arts, there's different cultures. So Kung Fu is its own culture because it's Chinese. So like, for instance, you would normally refer to a Japanese martial art stylist as sensei. I would be called Sifu. And all those kind of little details, the terminology, the culture, the tradition, all those things are in the book. And that's just another level, because each martial art has its own culture, its own philosophy. And even the fighting, as you can see here, when they're fighting, they each have different techniques, different strategies that reflect not only their style, but their personality. People fight differently based on what their personality is. If you spar with people, you can have the nicest person, and then you spar with them and you see what their real personality is in that moment of conflict. And so that's kind of something reflected in the choreography.
Yeah, I was looking at both your books, like this one. Like I mentioned this the other day, how you can see there's no words in these speech bubbles, but the art tells the whole story.
Oh, thanks. And the panel layout's really important. I came up in the 90s, so of course, the image era and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes it depends on what suits the story. I mean, you ever gone through a book where it's all splash pages and you just don't feel that you've gotten this story? You just breeze through the book in a split second and you just looked at a bunch of posters. Exactly. Yeah, Kung Fu is more than just fight scenes. And so the panel layout is a little bit more old school, but that's so that you can see all these different maneuvers and context, and you can get a full story. When you finish reading the first issue, you've actually read a story and you actually feel like you sat down and immersed yourself in something, as opposed to, as great as there are some books where it's really splash page heavy. I mean, you're done within in a couple seconds practically. So
I have to admit I have to admit one of my guilty pleasures is Thor number 380, which is Walt Simonson drawing one splash page after another of Thor and the Midgard serpent duking it out, right? There ain't a whole lot of dialogue. It's just Walt's art. Bang, 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 bang.
Oh, yeah.
And it tells the story. But it's like, to me, that's a dollar bin book.
Yeah.
And I've never understood why. This is some of Walt Simonson's most amazing artwork.
Definitely.
And it's huge pages of it, right? It's not little panels. It's like, why isn't this just on that?
Yeah.
Just on the rarity of that kind of book. First off, I think that might have been the first full splash page book ever done.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it just gets no love. And I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite comics of all time.
Walt Simonson just master. I mean, that's a masterclass right there. And I think it's not one or the other. It's what suits the story, Right. And that's a big thing. Like for instance, silent comics like Larry Hama's Silent Interlude from G.I. Joe, where the whole issue with Snake Eyes is sung. Freaking amazing issue. Amazing issue. And it reads so, and you notice when it's not as word heavy, you really linger on the image longer,
Well,
you really
now, I've had some people in the indie world that changed the way I read comics.
Yeah.
Some of these guys like Christian Rossi and Don Chin that put a lot of Easter eggs in the background of their panels. They made me stop and start studying panels when I'm reading a comic. Now I'm looking for what they hide in here, right? So it takes me longer to read a comic now than it used to. Because now I'm looking for the cool stuff.
Oh,
definitely. I used to just like read a comic, right?
Yeah.
Not anymore. Those guys changed the way I read comics. So,
That's great. Yeah, I usually do 2 passes. Like the first pass I read it, and then the second pass I study it,
I think I might have that Marvel fan. But yeah, the Simonson story, of course, it's Ragnarok. Like I say, it's Thor and the Serpent. It's the biggest thing in Asgard. You got to give it a different look.
Yeah.
He did it right. That was beautiful. I love that book. I'm surprised Marvel let him do it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of story. It's just a lot of badass art.
It's almost like when you look at classical paintings or their series or prints or things like that, it would have evoke that kind of vibe, And so it's great when things like that come out.
There it is, yo. You're going to get it.
Yep.
You're going to get it. Check it out. Go back it.
Thank you.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys both got funded early.
Thank you.
That you can now you get to relax and have fun, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like I got to remind myself this is kind of the victory lap, right? Now's the time to have fun, share it. Comic book creation is a really kind of lonely thing. You're just sitting in a room staring at a wall working. And so this is the fun part, right? It's when you get to kind of share with everybody everything you've been working on and see everybody's reactions.
Well, I mean, I know some people that have not gotten funded until right at the end, right?
Yeah.
And they've spent that whole time nervous and stressed out whether or not we're going to get there and whether or not we're going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I really push to get people funded early so they can relax and have fun promoting their book.
Definitely.
And not be a weight on your shoulders, right? It's like, I want you to be able to come out, be happy, be yourself, be, yeah, man, we're doing good. You're going to get your book. Everybody's going to be happy. That's what we want. So you guys will see me a lot of times and I'll be like, they're down to 200. They need $200 more. Let's go. Yeah. Because I want you guys to have fun doing this.
Oh, definitely.
Come back for another book. I don't want you to stress out, get gray hair and go, man, screw that.
No, totally. And it's part of the strategy. It's like one thing I communicated to my initial backers and stuff was, hey, this first 24, 48 hours, very important. If we can get this moment, because it's not just the momentum of itself, but it's the perceived momentum. When people see something moving, they jump on board, so that's
Kung Fu skills.
Yeah. So that's not in the edition you have, but that's when you go in the back of the book, you scan the QR code and there will be a lesson that you can learn based on the Kung Fu in the book where I teach you the same techniques. So you can literally get Kung Fu skills by reading a comic book.
And that's a great segue into what you do online for your students now.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So we've been going strong for ever since COVID hit, ever since the lockdowns happened out here, and kind of kept with it. And it's just been an amazing experience. And I've gotten to teach students that are outside of, my immediate area. And I have students
what's the farthest away? Who's your student that's the farthest away from where you're at?
Farthest away will be furthest away would be, it looks like he's going to be in Wisconsin. One of the students is going to continue. He's moving from California to Wisconsin. So he'll be participating in a California martial arts class in Wisconsin. And he's selected the tier where it's we call it the on-demand access, where he catches the on-demand videos. And that logo there's a big deal. We just recently got that. So it's the first comic book to ever be endorsed by the Worldwide International Traditional Kung Fu Association. They have branches in the U.S., in Brazil, all over the place.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. And so I kind of wanted to lean on my background in the martial arts, and I sent it to the head of the organization. They read the comic book. They were a little wary at first, but then after they read it, they said, you know what? This is about Kung Fu. It represents the authentic Kung Fu message. So you have our endorsement. And so that's so something kind of different from most comic books. Yeah,
I know that had to be a big old rush for you, dude.
Oh, so I just love bridging that gap between the two cultures,
Me and Max were watching you guys this morning, right?
Yeah,
and I was like, man, they're so calm and peaceful. And he's like, yeah, it just don't seem like a madness show, does it?
Well, I think the thing with Patrick and I is, we're really chill, but you can see when we get passionate, when we talk about the stuff that we like, my gosh, we go in so deep because we're so passionate about this stuff. This is martial arts and comic books. You're not in it, as a fair weather friend. If you're in it or you're not,
right.
And we are deep into this stuff. So.
So my friend Mike Barron did the Malibu Bruce Lee story.
I remember that.
Dude, I got all those.
It's cool, right? It's cool. And it was almost like as if Bruce Lee continued living into that period of the 90s, right? Because he almost had like a little bit of a mullet, kind of like modern hair.
A little bit longer hair.
Beautifully illustrated. And he is such a cool guy. I met him on your stream. This is like what Pops does, right? Bringing people together. Afterwards, he said, we should exchange books one day. And I said, yeah, sure. I said, but my book's not ready yet. A year passed. I got my book ready. I reached out to him nervously. I said, could I send you a review copy? And he goes, yeah. So I sent it off to Colorado. I was so nervous. I said, why did I do this to myself? This is going to be the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened in my life. And he wrote back just this positive letter, gave me some, critiques, of course, he's a veteran, things I could work on. But he said he liked the book, and what really made me feel good, he goes, because he's a lifelong martial artist, he goes, I love the fight scenes. He goes, he says they're very He said, his exact wording, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, I like the detail that you put into the choreography.
Yes.
And when you have Mike Baron saying something like that, you go, okay, maybe I don't have to be so nervous. I think I can move forward. I have a way to go. I mean, still, but what a supportive.
It translates in his book too. Thin Blue Line. He was drawn by a police officer, and the fight scenes are, done by people who know the Brazilian jiu-jitsu that they were portraying, right? So it's like somebody actually put some work and thought into it.
Oh yeah, and it shows.
You know what I mean?
And I'm excited about Private American. Can't wait until that comes out. So
there you go.
The
Bruce Lee ones. I think that's what he's talking about, right? The Bruce Lee ones.
Yeah. Those are Malibu did some amazing things. They were just so scrappy. The things that came across the table there were just insane.
I have so many Mike Baron books. It's like one day I want to put them all in a box, send them to him, have him sign them all, send them back.
Totally.
I mean, look, he was like the first person that's really industry that accepted me and said, hey man, I like what you're doing. Here's my phone number. Give me a call. Well, him and Brian Polito were the two, that really made me feel like I belong here. Yeah. Doing this. Right. Definitely. Mike is amazing. I approached him. Hey man, can you maybe come out to CromCon? It'd be so cool. He said, here's my number, Pops. Give me a call. I'm like, okay, dude, girl, what's up? We've been friends ever since. And the embarrassing part was that he was in every drawer of my filing cabinets. He was in almost every box of comics I have here at least once. Yeah. Did something in at least one comic in I got a lot of boxes and drawers. Yeah. Okay. Mike was all over the room, and I was embarrassed that I didn't know some of the stuff he had done. Yeah. I didn't know he'd done Flash. I knew about Badger and Nexus and Punisher. Sure, yeah. Flash. It was, and I started getting more in depth, and it was like, man, this dude's in everything.
Oh yeah, and I like what a straight shooter he is. He's very fair. He's very supportive, but he's very straight. I think I saw in one of his the Baron Earls show. He was saying, I think he was talking to Ben Dunn, but he was saying something to the effect of when somebody shows him their art, and they ask him if he's ready, and they're obviously not ready. He goes, "You know how your art looks. You're not ready. Why are you sure that?" I said, "Wow, it's harsh, but it's true. It's do you want the truth or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Because I'm only here for one of the two. Look, and I respect that.
Don't candy coat a critique for somebody. Yeah. Okay, don't ever do that, because you're going to mislead them, and they're not going to improve on the part they actually need to improve on.
Definitely, and I think it seems like he threads that line of being honest, but not being so harsh to discourage. Right. I think that's the difference. I mean, I've seen, as an artist, I've had, especially when I'm young, you have people just destroy you, and it's like, well, what was the point of that? You have to. You can break somebody down, tell them what they need to work on. But if
you break the art down, not them.
Yeah, exactly. And
break the art down.
give them the solution. Give them the solution. That's the thing. Otherwise, what are you doing?
It's funny because I showed a drawing that I did to Jim O'Reilly once, and he's like, "Oh, Pops, let me help you out with this. Let me break it down." He turned around and redid the drawing in about 20 minutes. Wow. Right. And he's like, he showed me with shapes and how quick and easy it was for him to whip it out. I had been hours working on this thing, right? And he went, yeah, look at that, Pops. Yeah. But I didn't know anything about actual art theory or process. I was drawing a picture as an old man who'd never drawn crap. Yeah. Right? Since school, since I was a little kid. I hadn't drawn nothing, and it wasn't bad, but it's like, when somebody can take your picture, break it down, and redo it in about 20 minutes, it makes you just go, yeah, I'm a long ways from ever being like these guys. These guys that do this kind of art are amazing. Oh, definitely. Especially sequential, man. One after another, different angles. You're giving me that same person, but a different angle, a different facial expression, all that. Dude, that takes skill.
Well, it's such a big thing because it's not enough just to draw a pretty picture, right? There's the context of how all these stack together,
Yep.
and then so forth and so forth and so on, and it's just a tremendous art form, It's I think it's one of the most superior art forms. I mean, it's the only art form where if you have the right skill set, you can go down and you can create a whole story yourself, and that's amazing. Or with others,
And people like Mike, they're very approachable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look, I know a whole bunch of how many things that Mike's been involved in and got his fingers in right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Belmont just walked up to him at a con and said, "Hey, Mike, you want to write a story about a dope smoking fox?" and Mike goes, "I'm in."
That's great.
It was that. You see what I'm saying? It's like if you've got the right idea, you can get a good writer to write your story, to write a story for you.
Definitely.
You got to have something that's original, something's new, something that grabs them, so that they can go out and grab your audience.
No, I think that also shows that's a testament to his skill, right? It's like kind of like, oh, you would say this in martial arts, right? People say, well, this technique, well, you have to punch this way, and then I'm going to do this and this. Well, in a real situation, you don't know what's coming. You have to adapt and move and be able to do it from this angle or that angle, on this or that or this, that. The same thing with being a creator, right? And that's a testament to Mike's skill that he can say, like, yeah, whatever, I can do that. I can do this. I can do that, and jump around as opposed to, I only do this gritty noir specific story, right? So that's great.
Okay, so I have one question about the future. Do you have, how far out is this going to go?
Okay, so initially the plan is to do the first mini series. So this is the first issue, probably about 4 issues. I'm kind of debating maybe 3, 4, depending on how things go. But that's the gist of it. I've already written out the whole plot line, broke down the structure. Everything's good to go for that. And then a second one also, if the first one does well, But yeah, and that's kind of thing. I took a long time developing this, all the characters, everything. I did a lot of world building. And that's why you'll see online, I'm constantly releasing these character designs that are fully formed.
Yes.
Because I spent actually years working on the backstory, creating the world, creating the characters. Even Patrick and I were talking about this. Even if you look at the character designs, the color schemes, they're all individual. So there were things where I would go back and change the color schemes for characters because maybe these two were the same and they have to look different on a page. And the silhouettes are different, and all those kind of details. I come from game design, video games as well. So that idea of taking a lot of time and investing that time in the background, I think shows up. Somebody agrees.
That was Luna. Luna's the first rescue dog that we brought home, and sometimes you just walk by her and she screeches. It's like the other dog might have just walked by her. Who knows what just made her screech?
Oh yeah, well, rescues are great. I have a rescue cat. He's locked in the other room, and he's pretty wild. And I was like, maybe he'll be okay for this, this talk. And all of a sudden, he came running through the living room. One of my shoes, I guess he had gotten into it, and it had somehow lashed stuff on his tail, and he was running around the house. The shoe was dragging, banging on things. And I said, "Yeah, this isn't going to work." So he's back. He's back there now. But yeah, everybody should hit. If you want to go to a rescue shelter. Don't go to like the puppy mills and stuff like that. Go to a place where the animals need you and need your help, and you can get some really good. Yeah,
all 3 of ours were rescues. And it wasn't that we they all fell on us.
Yeah.
Okay. The pit bull, somebody threw her out of their car and took off on the highway.
Wow.
And my son pulled over and got her, brought her home.
Wow.
We've had her for about 6 years, but she still is skittish.
Yeah, sure.
The 2 huskies, both about 10 months old, and we got them about 2 weeks apart. They weren't brothers. But they were both people that worked with my son that had spent the money to get a papered husky and didn't have the time to spend with it.
Yeah.
So they were basically, they had no idea how to live in a house or anything. So we brought them home. We trained them. We taught them how to hang out with kids and stuff. Like you said, they were not house dogs. They didn't. Rocky, man, like the first time we had a family get together after we brought him home, dropped a deuce right in the dining room, dude. Right in front of 25 people. Right? That's what I mean. They didn't know, and they had no idea how one was an outside dog and the other was a kennel dog.
Yeah.
That's how they had been treated the first 10 months of their life.
Yeah.
And both dudes were like, man, I'm gonna go put these dogs down. And he's like, my son's like, no, you're not. Give me that dog.
Well, it's a commitment, and if you think it's going to be something that you can just pick up and put down, that's not what it is. It's another life, right?
Well, no, my son was like, look, my dad's home all day. Dad can train these dogs. Bring him home. Because he works all day, right? So he's like, he knew bringing him home. He's like, Dad's there. We'll get these dogs straightened out.
That's great.
And we did, and they're beautiful. I mean, Zeus passed right before Thanksgiving, but Rocky is the most vocal. I mean, he just talks. He don't bark. He talks. All day long. It's his personality, and I love these. I love dogs.
Oh, absolutely. Patrick has a husky too.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess maybe at some time we'll have to have. Maybe you guys have to have a virtual play date.
We'll let them talk to each other.
A dog stream. It'll be a dog stream. Something like that. Or it's a new podcast called "Where My Dog's At." Something like that. We'll figure something out.
There you go. We have a segment. Where's my dog?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll just turn on the camera and leave the dogs in the room, and everybody go to work or do whatever and see.
This is probably one of the longer unboxings we've ever done.
Oh, sorry.
I usually don't take up like 20 minutes of your time. Come out, show it off, whatnot, right? I do have another show we got to get started at 2 o'clock, but there it is, guys.
Yeah,
Shadow Ghost. You're going to get it. Go back it.
Definitely.
Just like that. And watch these guys show, man. You, like I said, even Max and I were talking this morning. It's like, yeah, man, I can watch these guys mellow. Wow. I get all mellow watching these guys. Everybody else gets me all fired up,
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do a couple more live today, and I'll be sending you the videos and for you to have. But check us out. Today we're gonna have a couple more people. We're gonna have another martial arts master, JC Carter, who has a book called Shaolin Nun. So he'll be on.
I saw that one. Yeah. You guys were talking about that. I saw that already. Yeah.
So check us out, and please also don't just please check out my campaign, but also check out Patrick's.
Yes.
Tiger's Tail 1 and 2. So if you missed the first one, that's just one, you can get 1 and 2 on this. And Patrick's got some great rewards too. So check it out.
And even just like, even if you just donate a little bit just to the campaign, they still gift you with something, guys. So
definitely, and please share, get the word out, because we're doing this all ourselves and we want the word out. So thank you so much.
Let me get that other link in the chat.
Yeah. Let's.
Can't be leaving Patrick out. Look, a little known secret. We share a name, me and Patrick.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Good to know. I was trying to figure out how to address it, and I said, well, I guess I'll just address that package to you, Pops Van Sant, and it'll wind up.
I mean, everybody, like my son's friend started that Pops thing.
Oh, okay.
A female friend from long in my past dubbed me Van Sant because karaoke, Leonard Skinner, that was the guy. Everybody loved it, and she started calling me Van Sant. That stuck. Everybody started calling me that.
Okay.
But the Pops part came as I got older, and all my son's friends started calling me Pops.
It's a good name.
So they're the ones that get the Pops tag. They put the Pops tag on me, all my son's friends.
Nice.
It was like, Pops Van Sant sounds like a good name to do a show under.
It's a great name. There's a ring to it.
I ain't never been fond of Patrick. I'm sorry.
The name.
Over there, Patrick. I'm just saying, I ain't never been a fan of my name. I never liked it.
Yeah.
I never liked it. I liked my middle name better. That didn't make Mom happy, but
I tell you, that's okay. You get to choose at some point,
She still loves me. She just knows I don't like the name, right?
Yeah.
Is mainly because of the Irish and annotations that go with it.
Sure.
Everybody thinks you're St. Patrick's Day. Everybody thinks you're this and that, and it's like, no.
Well, I was supposed to have an Irish name. I was supposed to be Kelly. I was supposed to be Kelly Fujita, because my mom, who's Irish English, wanted me to have a good old Irish name, and my dad, who's Japanese, says no son of mine is going to be named Kelly. So they made a bet. I was supposed to be born on St. Patty's. They said if he's born on or before St. Patty's, Kelly. after St. Patty's, Kurtis, and I was born at 2 a.m. the day after St. Patrick's Day. So Kurtis
There you
won.
go.
Yeah,
You did
yeah,
good.
yeah. There you go.
Actually, Kurtis Fujita sounds way better.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I'm just
I kind of agree. I kind of have to agree on that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll be in touch.
Patrick, we're going to do this with you too at some point, I'm sure, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I'm going to head out. Take care. Thank you so much.
I want that. I want to know about that too.
Oh, it's cool. Yeah. Real quick plug for that. So what Patrick's talking about is if you subscribe to Patrick's newsletter, find him on Plugo Art or Plugo Arts on Facebook or, various media. He actually will sometimes give you like an actual free comic book if you're part of his newsletter. He gives all these cool little things. And that was one about him, being of Puerto Rican descent, but having the name Patrick. Really, really cool story. So yeah, definitely check it out.
He gets me. He understands, right?
Well, thanks, Pops. Have a good rest of the day. Everybody check out the campaign, and we'll see you later.
Tiger's Tail, check it out. Shadow Ghost, check it out. You guys know how we do this. Back these people up. We love it. Y'all have a good day. We'll be out here real soon with the Hyde Hermit art stream. You know how we do it? All day long anymore. All day long.
As a kid, I loved Kung Fu movies, so I went to Chinatown, trained with a wise teacher, and became a Kung Fu master. Sounds simple, right? Not really. My journey, like the study of Kung Fu, was as arduous as it was rewarding, filled with as many secrets as revelations and as much heartache as triumph. It's a defining moment in my life, and while I began studying Kung Fu to learn how to fight, what I discovered was a way to live. Martial arts never came easy to me. I was far from talented and even farther from being the chosen one. It was only through years of tenacious perseverance that I was able to make steady progress. And so, I was surprised when my master told me that I should teach Kung Fu and share the art outside of Chinatown. I did just that and taught Kung Fu to my own students for 20 years. I always wanted to do more to share the art of Kung Fu with others, but was limited by only being able to teach those within my immediate area. What about the rest of the world? Then one day, I had one of the deepest insights about Kung Fu. I realized that the punches, kicks, throws, and myriad of martial maneuvers are merely the delivery system for the true essence of Kung Fu, the philosophy and way of life. Having worked for years as a professional artist and storyteller in film, animation, video games, and comic books, I realized that I could draw upon this unique skill set to share my passion for Kung Fu with the greater world. And so I created Shadow Ghost, a Kung Fu comic by a Kung Fu master. The first issue is created entirely by myself, from story and art to colors and lettering. Every panel is filled with unprecedented accuracy in its depiction of Kung Fu by a comic book creator who knows from first-hand experience what it means to be a Kung Fu master. Shadow Ghost is a martial arts coming-of-age story about a young man whose search for the truth about a legendary hero leads him to study Kung Fu, and through a twist of fate, becomes part of the legend himself. For the first time in comic book history, you can immerse yourself further in each issue with Kung Fu Skills technology, powered by Tiger Crane Kung Fu. Scan the QR code at the back of the comic and follow an exclusive link to an online instructional video where I teach you Kung Fu techniques featured in the series. With Kung Fu Skills technology, you can do more than just read about the Shiraku saga. You can become a part of it. The first issue is completely finished and ready for print. All that's needed is for you to make a pledge of support so that we can fund the printing of the first issue. Together, we can share the wisdom of Kung Fu with the greater world. Shadow Ghost is the story of Kung Fu. It's about the people, the art, the culture, and the philosophy. It's my story and the story of those that I've learned from, taught, fought, and loved. Join me and become part of the vibrant legacy in a place and time where we might not be the chosen one, but where we can make a choice to be part of something bigger and greater than just ourselves. I'm Sifu Kurtis Fujita, and this is Shadow Ghost, the Kung Fu comic by a Kung Fu master.
Hi, I'm Lugo, author, illustrator, comic creator, and the art director for Kung Fu magazine for more than 20 years. But I'm here to talk to you about a project that's really special to me. It's a middle grade graphic novel, A Tiger's Tale. Imagine the story of tigers and dragons and martial artists and monsters. So when I launched the campaign for A Tiger's Tale Volume 1, I did not know what to expect. But it succeeded thanks to a group of passionate backers. It was also awarded the Make More Comics art grant that year and was later featured as part of an art gallery exhibit. And that's why I'm coming to Kickstarter, to cover production fees, printing, copy editing, things like that. Books completed, with the exception of a few pages I've set aside for color over the course of the campaign. This turned out to be a popular feature of Volume 1's campaign, so I thought I'd bring it back for Volume 2. I think it's going to be great fun for everyone. Hope you'll support the campaign. I'm very excited about it. Thanks for stopping by.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands are done.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals.